I'm here to tell you the simple things you need to know about the iPhone 12 Pro. How it arrived, what arrived with it, everything you need to know about the chargers, and I'm especially going to tell you how to sort out the problem of faces being whitewashed in iMovie. Cheers! Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Andri. Today's video is all about the iPhone 12 Pro. So let's get started. The iPhone 12 Pro comes in this box here. So it is much smaller than your usual packaging that you get with your iPhones. This was the packaging for my iPhone XR, which looks like that. And as I am holding this up, I will show you a quick comparison of the two phones. This is how they look. So the iPhone XR looks slightly wider than the 12, and the 12 looks maybe slightly slimmer. So that's what it looks like. This does have a cover on it. I will link covers and screen protectors that I have for my phone in my description box. So the iPhone 12 Pro comes in this box like this. So all you get into is some paperwork, you get your iPhone, and you also get your charging cable, which looks like this. Now this doesn't look any different to me than this one, the usual one. That's the one that came with my XR. There was talk about it being a twisty cable, therefore it would stop all that splitting at the edges. To me it just looks the same. The quality doesn't look any better. It might be, I don't know. I told you this was going to simplify everything. This is going to be as I see things. So the cable is different to your usual iPhone cables, and the difference is you cannot use your usual plug, so it is a different fitting. The fitting looks like so. So if you can see that, look at the difference, you can see. So this is a USB, this is a USB-C, this one here. And this is the same type that I use with plug in to my Mac. Talking of the Mac, you can also use the plug. So the usual iPhone plugs don't work because it is a USB, whereas the Mac has a USB-C, that's the side of the phone, so that plugs in quite happily. So this is the charger for my MacBook Pro, so if you have your Mac, then it's not a problem, you can just use that plug. Personally, I don't use wires. I stopped using them with my iPhone XR. I use a wireless charger, and that's the same charger that I use for my iPhone 12 Pro. The charging is not a problem. I know a lot of videos are making it out to be a problem. I don't think we need all these things. I mean, this is my XR box, and in here I still have the original charger and I still have the earphones. Talking of which, the earphones do not come with the 12 Pro, which again, it doesn't bother me because I have the wireless earbuds, so I don't need them, and again, they sit in my boxes and I don't use them. I moved on to the wireless ones because the iPhones were using different earphones to the MacBook Pro, so I thought it would be a lot easier to move onto the wireless, and then I can use the same earphones for everything, for iPads, my phones and my MacBook Pro. So the MacBook Pro uses the original earphones that look like this, whereas the iPhone XR used the earphones that attachment there. So the earphones would fit in here and in here. So the earphones and the charger are not a problem if you've got a Mac, if you've got a wireless charger, that's all not a problem, and I don't see why we should be paying for all these things when we're not really using them. So all that aside, so that's the packaging. It's all been made smaller. It's all for the environment. It's good because really most of us, I'm sure, don't use all these extra bits and pieces. So all that aside, that's all wonderful, not a problem. The phone for me is nice. It's a little smaller, slimmer, fits into my handbags much better. All the chargers and all that's not a problem. I have the Mac, I have the wireless, not a problem. The problem arose for me because I'm a vlogger, and I thought this would be a much easier way of vlogging when I'm out and about, because the minute I pull out the G7X, as small as it is, people notice and they immediately know you're vlogging, and it kind of makes you feel a bit, you know. So I thought, right, this has fantastic cameras. It has the 3 cameras and all of that on it, and it has something called HDR, which it's to do with the quality of the videos and all of that. Okay, remember, my technology skills are not very good. So, but that's basically what it means. So I thought, fabulous, let me try it. It wasn't for a specific video, but I was out and about, and I thought, let me take some video footage, put it into Imovie, see how it all turns out. And I am so glad I did that, because what happened was, when I took the video footage, it looks marvellous on my iPhone, and I put it onto my MacBook Pro. That was fine. The problem arose when I took the footage and I moved it into Imovie and tried to create a project. The minute I did that, this is what happened. Okay, I'm just hi, we're in the car. As you can see, the faces were whitewashed. The footage wasn't good at all. There was obviously a problem. Was it iMovie? Was it the iPhone 12? Now, I've never experienced that problem before. I've never experienced it with any other iPhones. I've never experienced that problem with the Canon, and I've never experienced it with my iPad. And this was the only new thing. So it's obviously a problem, I thought, to do with the iPhone 12 Pro. My son has also upgraded his phone to the same phone, the iPhone 12 Pro, and he also has the Mac. So I asked him if he was having the same problem, and yes, it turns out he was. So he contacted Apple, and this is where it gets a little confusing, but I will tell you how to sort the problem out, bear with me. So he contacted Apple, and Apple basically told him to go onto his laptop, press the power button, release it immediately, then all at the same time to press Command and Option, and then all at the same time, once he received the power button, to press Option, Command, P and R. And he did that, and that has sorted his problem out, which Apple tell me shouldn't have happened. So we'll leave that story there. So I did that and it didn't work for me. So I decided to phone Apple, which took hours on the phone. So they went through re-uploading things, taking things off. So they were sharing my screen both on my phone and my laptop. To cut a long story short, I eventually got a call back. Once the problem was taken to the engineers, I then got an email back from the person that was dealing with the issue, and basically told me that the only way to solve this would be to switch off HDR. But at this point, I am going to read to you the email that I received from this particular person that I was speaking to. Hi Andri, thanks for contacting Apple. The issue is video that is shot on the iPhone 12 using HDR video, which is a professional format. When imported into iMovie, will display washed out or overexposed. Engineering got back to us and explained that at this time that behaviour is expected behaviour with iMovie for Mac OS. It has not been updated to work with the type of media at this time. If it is working for your son, that is good news, but it is not expected to work at this time. So what does that mean? It's good news, but it's not expected to work. So am I being called a liar? It's not expected to work, but it's working. So that doesn't answer that question. Engineering suggested if we want to use iMovie for Mac OS that we turn off HDR video on the device. iMovie for iOS has been updated to work with HDR video, so that is another application you can use to edit those. I would recommend that you keep an eye out for future software updates for the Mac OS and iMovie for Mac OS, as that is the most likely way to fix will be distributed. If you have further questions, blah blah blah. So basically, to fix the problem, you go into settings. Once you're in settings, you go to your camera. So you find camera, you scroll until you find camera. Then you go into record video. You tap onto record video. You scroll up until you find HDR video and you switch it off so the green is not showing. So make sure you go into record video and not where it says smart HDR, because that's for your photographs, and that's fine. There isn't a problem with that. It's just with the video. So you go into record video and tap onto that, and then that's where you make sure HDR video is off. So that's how you solve that problem until we have an update. At the moment, if your MacBook Pro is updated, the software is Catalina. Our next update, which should solve this problem, is called Big Sur. Not S-I-R, but S-U-R. So that will be our next update, and that's when the problem should be resolved. That's what I was told. That's how you solve the problem of the faces and the footage being whitewashed. Don't worry about the quality of your video footage being any less. It will be fine if you're uploading to YouTube and things like that. So I hope you have found my video helpful for the iPhone 12 Pro. So the plugs and the chargers are basically not an issue, and resolving the problem of the whitewash is simple. It's a swipe to switch HDR off. I also questioned why it did work. I spoke to somebody else in the end. I decided I wanted to speak to somebody else, so I asked this person that kind of sorted everything out for me. I asked them why then my son was able to kind of sort out the problem with only doing the command and PR and all of that. And they said that some of the Macs are being tested with the new software, the Big Sur software. I did ask my son, I asked him what software was showing up on his computer, and he confirmed that it was Catalina, the same as mine. So that question remains unanswered. I did email the person that I was speaking to and told them that his was also running on Catalina, and I haven't had a reply. But there you go, that's how you solve the problem. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have found it helpful. If you would like to see more videos from me, but bearing in mind I'm a vlogger and I like to talk about handbags most of the time, then I'm going to link a video here, and if you're not already subscribed, why don't you subscribe anyway, as a wee way of saying thank you for sorting your problem out. Just press the A right here. Also do cooking and wine reviews as well if you're interested. Cheers! Catch you next time. Bye!